Hello there, you are welcome to Good Morning Tourism right here on CHTV. I am Erica Mintao-Hene. Of course, you know this is where we give you all the insights on tourism. And I'm not doing this alone. I have here with me our very own guest, our very own, which you would want to know after this quick commercial break. Do stick and stay with us. You're welcome back from that quick breather. If you just tuned in, this is Good Morning Tourism right here on CHTV. Of course, I have here with me Nana Baswa Boache, who is the CEO of BT Express. And to my immediate left, I have here with me Esquire Kojo Jemfi Bonsu, who is with Sundown Legal Services. You're welcome, gentlemen. Nana, it's been a minute. Where have you been?
Yeah, I was not feeling well actually.
Oh, too bad. Speedy recovery. And to you, Esquire, belated happy birthday. The blue says it all.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Any party? Is there any party?
Yeah, there should be parties throughout.
We will talk about that backstage.
So that we will use it as a
what?
way of thanking God for another beautiful year.
So the party is mainly for thanking God?
Yes.
No soloku?
No. No soloku. Yeah. We are going to have solemn moment within the period.
Great.
So reflect what God has done for us.
We'll be looking forward to that. Myself and my bosses.
Yeah, you are invited.
Of course, I'll show up. Nana, Now let's get straight into it.
Yeah.
We are coming to deal with the status of the Black Star experience. We haven't really heard anything about it again since it was being launched. What's the current status of it?
Okay, Black Star experience was launched by His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama on May 1st, 2025.
Okay.
And then the Black Star experience is a flagship program of the government designed to welcome the world under the Black Star.
Yeah.
So it's not something like an organization looking up to it or in charge of it, but it's the government flagship program, as I said, and then it's anchored into our Ghanaian culture of heritage and assets that we as Ghanaians can also thrive upon that. So it's like between the public and the private sector to come up with a program in celebrating this flagship program. It has a lot to entail as far as the private and the public at the same time tourism business is concerned. It has a lot. So it's not something that is a freak of talk, but it's a way of life as Ghanaians. And that's the most important thing, that we need to recognize that.
So can we know the current state?
The current state is that the government has launched this program. It's now left to the private sector, who will pray to doing the value chain of tourism, to come up with proposals to the government as to how to go about our normal business. If I mean, for instance, as a tour operator, and I need to create a new offerings within the framework of this flagship program, it's left to me to bring up my ideas to the government through the Ministry of Tourism or through Ghana Tourism Authority, that I have A, B, C, D that you can bring on board to make sure it works up to perfection. Because tourism business basically falls under the private enterprises. So now, what are we doing as a Ghanaians? What are we doing as private sector who are into this tourism business? We are the practitioners. We need to create offerings, new offerings, based on what the government is expecting out from us. So you have public and private partnership agenda over there. So what goes into it is coming up with a way of doing things as far as our culture and then heritage is concerned, to come up with a new ideas and a new business timelines.
So if I'm getting you right, anyone from the private sector is welcome
to
bring their proposals.
It's any proposal, or maybe you can also create your own products to bring it to the public, to sell it to the public. The main flash idea is that just to bring the world under one initiative. That's the Black Star experience. Because the Black Star experience was conceived by our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, in somewhere 60s. So he built a monument to initiate the vision that he has at the time. And that monument is the soul and body of Ghanaians because it's linked to total liberation of African continent. So one, you need to take aspiration from that. It brings about unity, and then it brings about freedom. So once we remember the Black Star Square, it's anchored into our daily life for us to remember a time of struggle. Now, we are not going to the time of struggle. So what can you do? Now you are in a point of creating something out of this struggle, out of this liberation. So now you have the cultural and heritage asset as Ghanaians as a competitive advantage to use it as a signature that can be a leading program that can bring the world together under one product. So now let us believe what you have and draw curtain raiser out of it and make sure you have business alongside it. Because you go by reconnecting with the diasporans. When you are reconnecting with them, it brings a lot of exchange of ideas. It also gives them the soul, boldly celebrate what they left behind. Then it brings us together to create a common future, the future that you can all believe in it. That's the whole concept. So it reconnects with the people of African descent, whether in Europe, North America, Southern America, in the Caribbean, or Africa continent as a whole. That's another point. And then in doing that, it has a light. That light leads us to future. So the light of the Black Star experience is not just a slogan, but an immersive journey, a pilgrimage, moving towards one common direction as identity. And in modern times, identity is very much key, and identity and pride. So our Black Star experience is not just a slogan, but it's a transformative journey, bringing people from the diasporans back home for them to realize what their ancestors left behind so that you can build the future.
Thank you so much, Nana. Esquire, so what are some of the activities that tourists should expect from the Black Star Experience project?
So let me say good morning to our cherished viewers and listeners who are watching us. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank all those who wished me and my brother a happy birthday yesterday. If you look at the policy as launched by the president, they structured the policy on certain thematic areas. Do you understand? So they are saying that by the time this policy is rolled out entirely, these are the structures and the pillars that they will cover. Actually, we are looking at the cinema sector of the tourism industry, the cinema. You know, previously, Ghana had a lot of cinema centers in the country where people could gather either in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evenings to watch the various type of cinemas. Today, that concept has eroded. Do you understand? So this flagship program intends to revive the cinema system, which used to put artists together, bring a lot of celebrities together, and the public will have access to such persons. So this policy is going to revive our cinemas that has almost collapsed. And they are also looking at cuisine, right? If you look at the, should I say, banter between Ghana and Nigeria when it comes to jollof, you understand? That contest between these two countries has promoted jollof very well, to the extent that when the whites or foreigners come to Ghana, they want to taste our jollof. So this policy is also intended to promote the various cuisines that we have in the country. And I think that with the uniqueness of our food and beverages, some of the beverages that we have. For instance, look at the alcoholic beverages that we have. Look at the local gin, the one we call appetition. That appetition concept alone can transform the cuisine sector, because you see, you have to take other drink through other means to get the final product that we have in the market. But look at our appetition. It's just a simple process, but the quality of drink that we get is so. The cuisine sector, if we carefully analyze and promote, we are going to bring out the Ghanaian identity, as Nana said, in terms of our food. Fufu, when you see a white man eating fufu, sometimes even though they use spoons or sometimes fork anyway, but the fufu that we eat in Ghana is quite unique. So these are some of the food we have for preference. We have so many food that we can promote. So this concept intends to promote our cuisine. And of course, what I'm interested in is an aesthetic concept of tourism. We are looking at the art, the attractions, the sightseeing, and the culture of the people. Do you understand? So they want to promote the aesthetic nature of Ghanaian tourism. So that is one area. And they are also looking at the stars, fashion, like you are looking fashionistic this morning. Okay, we have the Ghanaian testers, we have the Ghanaian way, like Nana is looking like myself. You understand? Like Kaftan. These are the Ghanaian way of dressing. Do you understand? We need to promote. If you remember, it was in 2000, I think 1 or 2, under President Kufuor, that African wear, became part of even our usual Friday wear. Good, very well. So you remember. So, and now it looks as if Friday wear has become part of the country to the extent that you find yourself in every institution on Fridays, people are wearing local dresses.
Some institutions don't do that.
Oh, I believe. So you cannot create a law to force everybody to wear African wear on Fridays. But what we can do, if you promote it well, it will be attractive. It will be attractive. In fact, you go to the banks, some of the banks today, on Fridays, they are wearing prints. Do you understand? To the extent that banks, hitherto, they will be wearing jacket, they will be wearing suit and tie and what have you. But today, it is acceptable for bankers to wear prints on Fridays. So I believe that we can equally edge, and that it will be dependent on how much we promote the textile and fashion industry within the local.
How do we promote it?
You see, the point is, before I even say that, today, by the grace of God, if you walk around, just look for any seamstress and see how busy they are, the seamstresses around. They have a lot of things to sew. Why? Because Ghanaians are increasingly becoming interested in our own local dresses. Do you understand? So that is why I'm saying that if we train the people, the tailors, the seamstresses, the fashion designers, if they are well trained and come out with creative skills that will attract people, so many people will go into the African print and sew and wear. Do you understand? So I'm saying that the textiles and the fashion industry is one area that this policy is looking at promoting. So I think that promoting it is not just we should have a strategy. We should have a program. Because if you look at some of the programs that they do on other television networks, competitions in relation to sewing and fashion designing. All these things will attract more people into the textiles industry. So finally, let me also look at this, where I like most that this policy intends to promote is the culture and heritage. Is the culture and heritage. We have discussed a lot about our cultural heritages. And we have talked about Homo, we have talked about Akweside and so many things. I always say that if Galamsey has destroyed most of our attractions, or is threatening our attractions. We have our culture that is not destroyed by Galamsey. So in promoting our culture alone, I believe can bring a lot of tourists to our destination. So I believe that this policy as launched by the president is a good policy, but the problem will be the implementation. The implementation. I know that Mr. Resoma has been appointed as a coordinator for this Black Star experience. As it stands now, from May to August, it's about 4 months. I believe the promotion is quite low. You understand? It's quite low. We don't know exactly what is being done. It doesn't mean nothing is being done. It can happen that they are working behind the scenes.
So you are optimistic that they are working behind the scenes, but you haven't seen their work yet.
Yes, that is because they haven't shown it. Do you get it?
But
they haven't shown.
Sure are you that they are working?
So I am hoping. I am only hoping. I am only hoping. Now, if you look at the statement by the president on that day, this is a policy that it should bring about 5 billion capital injection in the economy. And they said it's between 2025 to 2027. So we are looking at within 3 years, isn't it? So if such a program has been launched, I'm not sure the president will go back to sleep. The Minister of Tourism will go back to sleep on that. I believe that it is an area that they are really looking at. But that is why I'm saying that the Secretariat must carry all of us along.
Of course.
Do you understand? Especially the practitioners and the policy makers. They should know what is happening. Mm-hmm. Nana has some ideas, but have they been invited? Are they asking for papers? Are people being required to submit their ideas to the Secretariat? I have not seen.
Yeah, but
that is what I
just said. The private sector, they are welcome to present their proposals and then give their ideas.
Nana has said so, but I haven't heard such statement from the Secretariat in charge of this.
Yeah.
It's left to us, we the Ghanaians, to follow steps of the government to do the right things at the right time. Yeah. And in doing that, it will generate revenue. Okay. So if you want to have revenue streams for the government of the day to have enough to operate, it's left to us to see tourism as a game changer. Because tourism has the potential to change our economies overnight. Tourism has the potential to increase our receipts in terms of arrivals. So if we are able to promote and do it well, position Ghana at the right place. Now, we Ghanaians, we the practitioners, we know our strength. And then we know our consumer list. If you check for the last report from GTA, arrivals from all over the world, the US was highest on the bill. Those arrivals. So it means the US market cannot be overlooked. We need to look into that market. That's where you have majority of the black Africans, those who are first into slave trade. That's where you can find them. So you need to promote this program to them. So they are not just coming back home, but they are coming back home as a birthright. When they come back home, they have institutions that give them orientation to get Ghanaian passport, to become Ghanaians. So it's not just that they are traveling. This is not a travel itinerary that they are traveling to Ghana, but more or less, it transforms people's life to change where people see them as slaves to become citizens of the land. Because they own this land. They were forced out of this land. So when they are coming back home, they are coming to their birthright. And I quite remember the late Jacob Chebilamti, who was the first person to initiate this project called Joseph Project. The Joseph Project is to give people access to what they lost. Jake was then Minister for Tourism.
I think for the Joseph Project, we would want to go deeper, but maybe not now on another.
No, I'm just using it as an example.
Okay.
Jacob Chebilamti, the then Minister of State at that time, initiated this program as well, bringing people from the diaspora communities, engage them in investment, So I quite remember when he was a tourism minister, he planned a tourism week for the diasporans where investment forums were discussed and that kind of stuff. So now, we Ghanaians, what are you doing? The government has bring the project to us.
It's a huge question. What are we doing as Ghanaians?
What are we doing? And then another thing also you need to also recognize is the GTA. They are in charge of destination marketing.
Yeah.
So let's ask ourselves, are we at the right consumer market? The consumers are there. Let's find them. US is our biggest market. Well, I quite remember some last year or last 2 years or so, GTA traveled other tour operators to US. But that's not enough. The US market is very big. How are you meeting them? How are you promoting Ghana to them? How are you branding Ghana to them as well? It calls for branding. So you need to brand what you have to identify people. Because you have the market already. If you are going to Europe, where are you going to promote Ghana? Do you have people to come on board, whether international influencers, international media, or whatever it is? Let me give a critical example.
Let me quickly go to Council. I'll come back to you. Council, talking about the consumer market, let's not leave the local entrepreneurs. Is this project going to contribute or benefit them in any way?
Okay, so like Nana said, the government through Ministry of Tourism and Ghana Tourism Authority are policy makers and policy implementing agencies. Do you get it? So they create, like they have created. The rest will be largely done by the practitioners, the tourism consumers. They control the baskets. So I believe that if government cannot go and set up a hotel, government cannot set up an eatery or restaurant, government cannot set up a transport to send people or tourists from one destination to the other, but that will be done by the private sector, then clearly the benefit to the private sector is obvious. We can see that with this program, with the expectation of more people coming into the country, Nana has just said some of them are not just coming for tourism, they are coming some with the intention to permanently stay or acquire their biological citizenship. So in that context, they will have a lot of access to so many facilities provided by the private sector. So for me, the key beneficiary, you know that government's intention is to, one, to get more capital injection into the economy. Two, to create opportunities for entrepreneurs. Three, to create employment, especially for the youth. So if you look at the other side, where the private sector will play key role in making this program a reality, I believe that the benefit to the private sector cannot be overruled at all. You see, the policy is a comprehensive policy. And if you look at it, it addresses or it talks about most of the things that Nana was asking for.
Oh yes, it's an honor.
But except that, my worry is that the implementation should be thorough. The implementation of the program should be thorough. That is why I'm worried that 4 months after the launch, we have been kept in the dark. We don't know. If I say we have been kept in the country, we don't know actually what is happening after the policy launch. But they have outlined so many things that they want to do. They have outlined so many things. Look at the major program that the policy want to address. They said they want to create and connect conferences, creative connect conferences. That is one policy. Talent optimization. You see, for instance, if you take the music industry, there are talent optimizing strategies that we can have. How do we get more people into music? What are the opportunities that are available for the people who have interest in music? But the government says they want to do that. So that is why I'm saying that it addresses the concern.
Let's go for a quick commercial break. When we are back, we have more to give you. You are welcome back from that quick commercial break. If you just tuned in, this is Good Morning Tourism right here on CHTV. Now, away from that, Nana, let's go to infrastructure development at tourist sites. Do you think infrastructure development has impacted tourist sites in any way?
Tourism infrastructure. By the way, you need not to be told that when you try to improve the tourism site, it increases revenue.
Yeah.
A classical example is Pamukuma Museum. Now, if you look at all the tourism sites across the country, the Nkrumah Museum was the first.
Yes.
Why? Because it has a modern kind of structure in place of the old one. And then it has benefit Ghanaians in such a way that people are going there on daily basis. So it is bringing revenue into our economy. So nobody needs to tell you. You need to do a lot of infrastructure across the country, not just Nkrumah Museum. You have a lot of places that you need to develop. If you are able to develop them, they all increase our revenue streams for the government to get enough to develop the country. We are all hoping for the best for the government to develop the country. But if the revenue streams are not enough to bring back home the needed capital to inject into our economy, I don't believe every government can do any work here.
No, not at all.
But in doing that, if we're able to, increase our revenue streams, and then our network of revenue expand, it also expand our economy as well. So going into infrastructure development, we need not to be told that we need to develop our tour site, because if you want to have a come again visitors, what they will see today will allow them to come tomorrow. If the tour sites are not up to standard, trust me, nobody will go there again. Especially road leading to our tourist site. You need to take into an account if the road are deplorable and our cars are not even go there effectively. I don't believe we can transport tourists to the site for them to watch whatever we want them to watch, or for them to see what you want them to see. So it's left to the government, who is the sole custodian of our infrastructure, to do a massive work about all the tourism sites across length and breadth of the country for us to realize our dreams. Because some of the sites are owned by local communities. If people have been trooping to these sites, it will change the local economy. Some of the sites are owned by the local leaders. If road leading to these facilities are well up to standard, I believe that it also change their lifestyle. So now the government is trying to have an ally in parliament for them to pass into law that if you are owning a tourism site in this country, it should be 50-50 ball game. It should be public and then a private. So now, some of the areas that being owned by the local leaders, now they have a common share. That common share is that you take part and then the government take part.
Of course.
So if the government is taking part of this revenue from these local people, what it means is that the government also needs to go back and do the right thing, or do the needful for us to see the needed infrastructure development you are all hearing for. Because if, like I said earlier, if you have a bad road network, it will not argue well for our tourism. And then the facility as well. What are the state of our facilities? Some of the facilities are also deplorable state. They are not even up to standard. So all these facilities also need to watch out, especially the old buildings. In tourism, you do not touch them, but you try to maintain them. Because people want to see as it is, or as it was. But in branding, you can also brand them. If you go to Israel, they have the old monuments and everything there. But in doing tourism, they have branded all these artifacts for them to look good, to the taste of the world, so that you will return as a return visitor. All these things influence people in the bucket,
yes,
where they need to go, where they can have preference. Because tourism is about preference.
Yeah.
And then destination is about choice. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So people will compare destination against destinations. I want to go to Ghana. What can I have Ghana different from Kenya? I want to go to South Africa. What can I have in South Africa? Or what can I do in South Africa different, not having in Ghana? So all these travelers make comparison, make decisions in their bucket before traveling to a destination. So Ghana is not out of the proportion.
Not at all.
Ghana is within. It's within the ball game. So we need to do the right things at the right time and implement policies and programs that will promote Ghana. You don't for the harm that somebody will come to us. No. Tourism is by way of having your product in front of the visitors, for them to have a look at it, so that it informs them. It gives them certain level of information for them to take their decisions.
Yes.
Before a tourist, people will try to travel to one destination. They consider so many things. What do they have in unique? The destination that I want to travel. Do they have something unique I can immerse myself through? Or do they have a unique experience after the end of my travel? I will have this kind of memory all the time that will inspire me to go there again.
To go back. Yeah.
So all these things need to look into. So when coming to infrastructure development, it's something that you cannot negotiate.
Not at all.
Not negotiable. The government of the day need to do the needful thing to place Ghana at the world marketplace, so that our tourism will thrive from one point to another.
Of course.
Because if you go to all these leading destinations in Africa that we are competing with them, they have world-class tourism sites. Road network is perfect. The facility also there is international standard. So all these international standards come into play.
Yeah.
Ghana is not isolated. And Ghana is not living the blue moon.
Not at all.
You're on this earth, competing with other destinations. So you need not to, forget about what others are doing. You need to compete with them. And in the beautiful ball game of tourism is that it will also keep you on your toes to do the right thing at the right time. Because if you are not doing the right thing, or you are not initiating the right programs, trust me, nobody will come to your destination. So somebody may even prefer traveling to South Africa than Ghana. Why? Because if you go to South Africa, the kind of level of experience the person is going to enjoy, maybe it's outweigh Ghana.
Yeah.
But we have competitive advantage. Let's use our competitive advantage and develop our tourism assets to drive more tourists to Ghana. It's most important. So all these things, we need to develop them. By way of developing them, we are trying to increase our receipts.
Yes.
By way of developing them, we are trying to bring more people under our roof. By way of developing them, we are trying to bring the whole world underneath of Ghana. That's the most important. We need to acknowledge that.
Of course.
It's very much important.
Yeah.
If you want to thrive, you can thrive on this pivot by developing our tourism site, by developing our road networks. Even though bad roads also cause accidents. All the time you are losing life and property. So if you are doing all these things, it means that once our road network is up to shape, up to standard, it also decreases the accident on our roads. It's much important that we need to know all these things. Well, nobody needs to tell us that you need to do ABCD to prevent road accidents.
Yeah, well said, Nana.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Esquire, Nana has spoken a lot and then we've heard him. But then with regards to infrastructure development, personally, I think that private sector has left everything for the government to do. Are there any way the private sector can also come in to support the government?
I don't think the private sector has left government to do. What I believe is that government has left the private sector.
In terms of what?
Because when we talk about tourism infrastructure, we are talking about airports, we are talking about good roads, we are talking about food, we are talking about proper or international standard tourist sites. Is that not what we are talking about?
Yeah.
And all these ones are controlled more or less by the states. So let's take roads. I believe that if government had given of our God in Sawon Road, that's our trust.
Yes.
if you are giving it to the private sector on the PPP, okay, public-private partnership with government to construct, why not they would have completed? And I believe that the private sector has the capacity to aid government in areas like this, where government will give some roads to private sector. That's where outside so many private people have built roads and they are managing the road to raise revenue for themselves, okay, in accordance with whatever agreement that they sign. But government has not given that opportunity to the private sector to invest in key infrastructures like roads. Look at the airports, okay. Look at Accra Airport, look at Kumasi Airport, and maybe Tamale Airport. What about the other airports? Sunyani Airport. There's no airport in Koforidua. No. There's no airport in most of the regions are Gozo and what have you. But government can partner the private sector to create aerodromes or maybe some small airport within all these areas that can facilitate domestic flights from the greater Accra region to those places. Because you see, when you are a destination and every year you record numerous road accidents. Meanwhile, your airport interconnectivity is non-functioning. Yeah. So how do you boost or attract people into the destination? Mind you, the tourists, I say they are not like Ghanaians. Okay, yeah. All of us that we don't take serious attention to some of this. For a tourist, before he or she agrees to a destination or to travel to a destination, they would have read a lot about their destination.
Of course.
So if you are recording about 14,000 road accidents, you are recording about 5,000 deaths as a result of road accidents. Then even if your roads are good and you record said accident, it may be a disincentive.
But Council, don't you think if the government haven't involved the private sector yet, they can also send their proposals to him? Well, they shouldn't wait for the government to call on them before.
You see, that is true. You can send a proposal, but if government does not agree, so far I have not heard that any private person has submitted such a proposal. Okay, of course, you cannot also on your own accord go and construct any road anywhere. So you still need to submit maybe a proposal to government, which we have not seen. Let's encourage the private sector to also take the initiative and let's see. But I believe that much as it is expensive to construct the airports, much as it's expensive to construct the road network, I think government can offload some of these responsibilities to the private sector, so that you allow them to, because if private sector, some people can own private jets when the state itself does not have aircrafts.
But could there be a reason why the government haven't reached out to any private sector?
I don't know. I'm sure that idea has not been conceived yet. It has not been conceived yet. Or it has not been considered, because the private sector can do it. Okay, and it's because you see sometimes some of the nature of politics that we do in our country, we promote free. If you invite a private sector to construct a road from Accra to Kumasi, the private sector will invest or would have invested a huge sums of money, isn't it? The person must get the money, recoup the money. How would the person recoup the money? The person will tow the road, will levy uses. Sometimes it may be harsh, okay, but the person must actually recoup the money. Yes. You cannot travel from Accra to Tema on a motorway and you haven't paid any levy. I mean, where? So that is the problem. If government is ready, if I say government, not limited to the current government, I'm saying every government, if they are ready to face realities, that no, look, good road will come with levies. If you want to ply the good road, you pay tolls. Do you understand? Elsewhere, you go to Europe, they have 5 lanes. 4 of the lanes are heavily tolled. Okay, even the 5th lane is tolled, but it's not as the 4 lanes. So that when you pay, you drive smoothly, quickly, and get to your destination.
But do you think if this is being implemented, the citizens are not going to complain?
Why would they
No
complain?
Ghanaians.
Why would they complain?
Esquire.
Why would they complain? If not politics, why would they complain? Because somebody must pay for the roads. Do you understand? But we are not paying for the road. So I believe that it is time government invites the private sector into most of the infrastructures that we require in the tourism space, i.e. talking about the airport, particularly the roads network that we have. Because if you look at all the road network in Ghana, the government alone, it will take many years to get all of them fixed for the purpose of tourism.
Yes.
But I believe that with the invitation of the private sector, we can speed up and get some of these things worked on, so that at least we can attract more tourists into it.
Oh, well said, Esquire. Thank you so much for honoring our invite, Esquire Kojo Jemfi Bonsu. Nana Baswa Boache, take Piao, Nana Mefra was a Piao. Nana Baswa Boache. Nana, thank you so much for honoring our invite. Thank you so much. This is where we end this episode of Good Morning Tourism right here on CHTV. Of course, I am Erica Mintaoheni. See you on our next episode.